Hey, all right, we've got our Hawksky, and look at this. We got two Microjet version 3 motors on. I just hot glued them right on the shoulders there. At the end of this video, I'll show you how to wire up two motors onto one plane. It's actually very simple. If you don't want to do two motors, you can get your Microjet version 3 motor and just take that motor off and put that one right on, just like we used to do with the Wild Hawk. 99% the exact same plane. See that? Same size, same dimensions. These things sell out like crazy. It's got the stock servos in it, which work okay, and I just rewired it to my radio to have flaperons, and that's about as fancy as I did. A woo-la. Nice. Wow, it's got interesting noise with those two motors. Okay, that's about quarter stick. I'll bring it back the other way and gun it. Okay, ready? Whoa! Yeah, it's plenty fast. Okay, ready? Full speed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see a little flexing going on there.
In the tail?
Go for a couple loops. Yeah, it feels just like the Wild Hawk. Okay, flaperons are down. Try a little slow down flight. Flies good slow. All right, I'll land it right here. What I usually like to do is after just a couple laps is on any new plane is I bring it down and I test it just to see if anything's getting hot, especially the battery. Battery feels cool. If there's too much power getting pulled out of the battery all at once, it will start to get hot and then puff up. So you want to catch it before it does. That feels cool. Speed controls feel cool. And the motors feel cool, so that's good. And your receiver, you gotta make sure that stays cool too. So look, I've got 8-inch props on it now, 8x4s. I'm testing this idea out because in a few months I'd like to do a P-38 style plane on a 2-cell, kind of like an ultimate 3D hover plane. And I wanna use this power setup, 8x4s on 2 cells. So let's try that. So here is a 3-cell battery, which is about 11 to 12 volts, and here is a 2-cell battery, which is about 7 to 8 volts. So it's just less voltage. The motors are going to be spinning a little bit slower, which allows them to deal with that larger prop. You have too much power and too large of a prop, the motor just can't handle all the resistance. It's just too much wind, too much air hitting it, and it bogs down the motor, which causes it to heat up and then burn out. So that's why it's so important to have the right props and motors and all that. That's just a little tip that no one will ever do. Let's see what this does. Ooh, acceleration is nice. The 6.4s have the speed. This feels really nice, kind of on the takeoff off the line, like first and second gear if it was a car, you know? And you'd think these 2 cells wouldn't have enough power, but they really do. Hear that little vibration?
Yeah, what's that?
These GWS props are really light and really flimsy, and that's how they're designed. They're designed for slower planes, so they don't like to go fast. You get them going too quick and they get all crazy. But for something like this, it's perfect because they just want to fly slow. That's nice. So I'm picturing if I had a P-38 style plane, twin motors, large control surfaces, slow flying, 3D, this power set right here would work really nice. And that Hawksky is not a light plane. That is some thick, sturdy, durable foam, and this still flies it without any problem at all. I mean, I'm flying at about 50% throttle right here. Flaps are down. Wow, very nice. All right, let me bring it in crossways. Do a cross lot landing. Oh, look at that, look at him rotate. So there's lots of different ways to do 2 motors on one plane. This is just one of them, okay? And this works great for this setup. I've got a Y connector that I made with the Dean's connectors, and this is about as hard as it gets. Basically what that's doing is one battery giving positive and negative to 2 speed control. And take a look, see here. I'm plugging it in to each speed control. You see that? Speed control plugged in, right? And then that is gonna be plugged into the battery. Just take a look at this speed control here. You know how you have this thing here that goes into your receiver? You're going to get a Y connector, and then, oh, by the way, one of the speed controls, it does not matter which one, you pop off the center wire. So zoom in here and take a look at that. And plug it in yonder yay, and then plug this whole thing, see that? Right into the receiver spot, and that's it. ohverynice.com. Oh, look at that. They're doing the happy dance. Okay, to reverse your motors, so to get one to spin the opposite way, if it's going this way, you want it to go the other way, you simply just unplug these 3 speed control wires, and you just reverse any 2 of the 3. That's all you do. It sounds way too simple. Everyone gets confused because they don't think it's really that easy. It's that easy. Now with the 2 motors pulling twice as much power out of the battery, air cooling becomes even more important. Now a lot of times you can look at what a motor will tell you it can take on the spec sheets, and that's just giving you a general idea under certain circumstances. If you have better air cooling and you're not running full throttle all the time, you can get away with a little bit more. Now you got to be an advanced guy because the beginners just like to go full throttle, smoke it, and then not know what happened. What I want to do in the future on this plane is a couple things. I want to see if I can fly it with only 1 motor. Notice that the motors are kicked out to the side, so when one motor goes out, this other motor is going to want to pull the plane like that. You're going to have a yaw problem. But if it's cacked out to the side a little bit, it's going to then help pull it back a little bit. It's not going to be exact, but it'll help the plane from fighting itself. So is the theory. So I'd like to try that. Right? Very nice. Oh.